Hi folks, Paul Boland here and welcome to another episode of the KnightTrek vlog. So today we're going to talk about two games, a magazine collection and another movie. So let's dive right in. So we'll deal with the games first. We'll start with Incoming. Incoming is your basic old-fashioned updated asteroid type game. Basically, you're in charge of a missile base and there are asteroids coming down to strike the cities that you're trying to protect, and you must fire your missiles up and destroy those asteroids before they make landfall. It tells a story. I said this in the other video, I do like to tell a story with a game. It's very rare that I will make a game that doesn't tell a story, but this one this one does tell a story. This one falls into that category. So take command, play it out, see if you can save the cities. Again, KnightTrek Productions freeware page, check it out folks. The next game I'm going to talk about is actually based on an old TV show, one of my all-time favorites. It's Knightmare, spelled with a K. This TV show was on back in the 1990s. And basically a team of 4 went on the show with one person wearing a helmet of justice which blocked his view, and he would go into a holographic dungeon guided by his friends. I absolutely loved this show. It was one of the best TV shows ever made. As a matter of fact, I think it actually got officially voted one of the best TV shows of all time in a recent TV guide poll or something. I remember hearing that online. I loved Knightmare so much I actually applied to get on the show and I was successful. Me and my team were going to be the first All-Ireland team to be on Knightmare, to face the dungeon and to battle Lord Fear and help Treyguard and everything. Unfortunately, events went against us and we didn't get on the show, but to make up for it, we were invited over to see the actual live filming of Knightmare in the studios for the last 2 years that the show was on air. It was sad to see it go. I still think it could be resurrected today. Given today's computer technology, I think it could be pretty awesome if it was resurrected today. But suffice to say, it's one of my favorite shows of all time. So I actually made a computer game out of it. Now, there is a catch with this one, folks. I made these games that when you download it, it's from the KnightTrek Productions freeware page again. When you download it, what you're going to get is you're going to get a bunch of Knightmare games. But I made these years and years ago, 1990s, using a graphics presentation package called Harvard Graphics 3. Well, I don't know if Harvard Graphics is still around, but suffice to say, I don't have it anymore. When I lost the software, as time progressed, the software just became obsolete and unusable. These games were just left on floppy disk. Yes, folks, floppy disk. And about a year, 2 years ago, thereabouts, I was cleaning out some floppy disks and I came across them. And I was looking at them, I was like, is there any way I can play these again? And there was. Microsoft's PowerPoint could load up the Harvard Graphics. And I put a bit of work in. I salvaged as much of the games as I could, and that's what you have here. You basically have a game played through PowerPoint. So in order to play these games, what you're going to have to do is, when you download them, you're going to get the PowerPoint presentation files. In order to play them, you'll have to go to the Microsoft website and download the PowerPoint viewer. This is free. You can just get it, and when you install it, it will load up the Harvard Graphics, the PowerPoint versions of Knightmare, and you can play them. I can't remember exactly how many different Knightmare games are in there, but these are very story driven. These are very loyal to the show, and there's a lot of nostalgia in there. I hope you enjoy them. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is a magazine collection. Years ago, again, back, it's always years ago folks, we are getting to more modern stuff, stick with me. But years ago, again 1990s, I decided I wanted to create a magazine for KnightTrek Productions, and I created the KnightTrek zine. I did reviews, I covered topics of interest, I had a letters page which never got a single letter. It only lasted 4 episodes, 4 issues, and then I retired it because I just didn't think people were interested in it. Now that I'm doing these vlogs, I doubt I will ever resurrect the KnightTrek zine, but the zine is there to download it and read it. So again, KnightTrek Productions freeware page, KnightTrek zine. If you're looking for something to read, a bit of nostalgia from the 1990s, go check it out. One thing I will say about the KnightTrek zine, there is a series that ran in it that my sister Julie created. It's called Ben and Zal, and it tells the story of an alien that crashes to Earth, and he has to go undercover so that the authorities don't find him and arrest him. So he basically takes on a disguise and he goes and moves in with a guy who's looking for an apartment buddy to help pay with the rent and stuff. Julie did a great job on this. All the artwork in this series was created, believe it or not, in paintbrush, Windows paintbrush. She did every piece of artwork pixel by pixel. The series is fantastic, and since there are 4 episodes of the KnightTrek zine, there are 4 episodes of Ben and Zal. I think it's great to read it even to this day. There's some great laughs to be had. I particularly am fond of the Halloween episode. I think it's hilarious. You never know, folks, I might actually resurrect this series someday. But for now, KnightTrek zine has those 4 original episodes, and I think they are real gems. You should go and check them out. So that takes us now to the last thing of this issue of the KnightTrek vlog, and that is your new movies. So again, we are dealing with the movies, folks. So last week we covered Station Unknown. This week we're going to cover The Enemy Unknown. Are we seeing a trend here, folks? Okay, let me tell you something about this. After I made Station Unknown, I wanted to do a sci-fi story, and I came up with The Enemy Unknown, and I penned it out on paper, and I came up with 3 episodes. So I made the first episode, but it was while making the Enemy Unknown series that I started to see the limitations of creating movies with the movies. For example, as you watch it, you're going to see weird camera angles. Like 1 minute you'll be looking at a scene playing out in this direction, and then the next scene will be playing out in this direction. It's simply put, you can only work with the scenes you're given and the set pieces for those scenes. And unfortunately, I had to chop and change between them. Another issue I had, and this was more important, remember, I wrote this up as 3 parts. After I made the first part, The Enemy Unknown, the guy in my movie studio who plays the captain quit. I swear to God, he quit. I mustn't have been paying him enough, folks. Well, that left me with a dilemma because I had 2 more episodes to write. So I had to edit episode 2. And basically, when you watch episode 2, which is called The Enemy Unknown First Strike, you will not see the captain, but I don't want to spoil it for you, but I mean, this won't spoil it. I had to get rid of him in some way, shape or form to explain why he wasn't there. He basically gets killed. So I made the second episode. Now I still had, in the first episode I had the captain, and I had two other people, a man and a woman, crew members working with him on the ship. Captain quit at the end of the first episode. I made the second episode, The Enemy Unknown First Strike, and at the end of that episode, the woman character died. My movie studio was very dangerous, folks. So that put me in a real dilemma. I had 1 more episode to make, and I was determined to make it. I basically remade the characters as best I could, and the female character anyway. The one remaining surviving guy became the captain of the ship for the 3rd episode, which is called The Enemy Unknown War. And then The Enemy Unknown War was made, and so be it. Now, When I made the Enemy Unknown War, which concluded the 3-part series, I moved off the Enemy Unknown series. But stick around, folks. In a future episode of the KnightTrek scene, I actually did go back to it. But there were issues. But there was also an amazing achievement too. So stick around. So with that said, folks, I will sign off here for another week. I hope you're enjoying these vlogs. And I'll let you watch the Enemy Unknown series. Until next week, folks. Bye.
Well, I don't know. Wait a minute.
And he was talking about the and he said, mountain dreams and things. I better go in. And he was talking about the and he said, mountain dreams talking about the same, and he said, mountain dunes and things. I better go in. Talking about the same, and he said, mountain dunes and things. I better go in. He was talking about the same, and he said, mountain dunes and things. I better go in. He was talking about the same, and he said, mountain dunes and things. I better go in.